Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube channel. This morning I'm going to do a quick little warm-up sketch, character sketch. First thing I like to do is I like to start off, with the head. The head's very important because it kind of grounds us in proportion and how we want to make the figure and the pose work in the context of what you're doing. So the head is extremely important. So right now I'm just roughing out the gesture. Again, I started out with the head, very rough circle, and then I moved on to a bean shape. Again, this particular shape is modifiable. It's not going to be, he's not going to look like a bean at the end of the day. But what it helps me do is it helps me figure out, proportions and ground and everything else and what exactly I need to do. So I'm not going to, I guess I can talk a little bit. This particular character for me is just something that, I really enjoy. He kind of throws his nose up at the whole comic book industry, and he always references in his storyline. He's just a very, very fun, fun particular character in the universe, in the Marvel universe. So so what I'm basically doing right now is there's different compositions, the rule of thirds, the rule of off-center, and then of course you have, whenever you put a composition or an element right in the center of the page, it becomes the center focus of your piece, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to figure out, what kind of composition I'm doing. But it takes, obviously, it takes practice to be able to do things in such a way that it doesn't inhibit you from finishing your drawing. So also whenever I do characters, whenever I do just about anything, there has to be kind of a reference point to your character. So what I like to do is I like to rough in the circle, rough out the composition, and then start working on the details. The pose is extremely important, and that's what I'm kind of working on right now. Gonna have his hands come up. So, and then I work, since we're dealing with a form here, trying to really accentuate the forms and, excuse me, I burped a little. To accentuate the forms, I draw construction lines to kind of help me feel out where things are supposed to go. Since I am drawing on a flat surface, and I explain this to my students sometimes, I said, this drawing thing it's not the easiest thing in the world, because we're taking a three-dimensional object, we're translating it through our brains and through into our hand into a two-dimensional surface to look three-dimensional. So I know that's a lot of words, but it's completely true. It's, whenever I think about it, sometimes I'm just like, man, I feel like I'm making things harder on myself. And I think that's why, people that deal in 3D sculpting, and I've done quite a bit of that as well. People that deal in 3D sculpting, they're really good at it. But whenever you ask them, can you draw? And they're like, no, I can't draw. And that's, to me, it's sad that happens, but on the other hand, it kind of makes me question, man, how are they able to do that? It's because we are so used to living in a 3D world that these particular artists have kind of clicked in to that side of their brain that allows them to directly relate what they see into their hand. Instead of having to translate it onto a two-dimensional surface to look three-dimensional, they basically take what they see and they translate it right into the 3D environment. That to me is pretty freaking awesome. I spend years and years trying to overcome that that knee-jerk reaction to do certain things, you know, whenever I draw. But these guys and gals that, you know, are in 3D sculpting that can't draw a lick, man, they can sculpt like you wouldn't believe, and it blows my mind. I love different types of art medium, you know, being able to go in and create something in a 3D environment to me is just, whew. Now, here's the kicker of it all. If you get someone who can draw really good and then has the capability to do 3D sculpting, I mean, that's the best of both worlds. I mean, they can design your character, they can, you know, model it, 3D sculpt it. I mean, that to me, it's at the end of the day is one of the, could be one of the most powerful, you know, tools in the Illustrator's tool belt. Definitely, you want to adapt as much as you can, and add those things to your tool belt. You're gonna need to go back a little bit further here. You know, because the more you can do, obviously the more money you make, and the better you are at understanding the principles of this whole art thing. All right, so we'll go here. Okay. So just so you guys know, whenever I do something like this, I do have a short thumbnail drawing that I do previous, unless I note, you know, this is the first time that I picked up a pencil today. You know, it's not. This is a warm-up, but it's more or less a video exercise for you guys to kind of get this whole drawing thing down. And again, if you look, I have this line, you know, it's kind of an invisible line that comes here, and there's a, you know, a balance structure here. So he's got his weight on this leg right here, okay? This weight comes all the way up and balances him, and it's kind of balanced with this particular element right here, which is, you're gonna see that in a minute. But he's got that balance, you know, and it's weighted. And, you know, gravity affects everything, you know, no matter what it is. And, you know, even in your drawing, you need to consider gravity. How's gravity going to affect, you know, how your drawing's going to look, how your character is going to be positioned, you know, all these things. So that's important. All right, so I got that. Now, once I get to a point, you know, I'm trying a different camera for my visuals today, as you can see. You know, hopefully this will work. I'm not really sure if it'll work just yet, but we'll see. Yeah, I like that to be out a little bit more. You're not going to see me do that too often. That would be erasing. It's not that I don't believe in erasing, which I do. I'd rather see, you know, either my mistakes or, you know, a different direction maybe I need to go, than to just blindly erase. You know, okay, so it comes here. Maybe there's some music going over right now to kind of take up the silence. I've experimented back and forth with you know, different types of music. I've had people comment, you know, you need to have more music playing, you need to do this, you need to do that, and I think that's fantastic. I love comments, you know, and whenever I used another artist's work for reference, you know, typically I'll indicate it in the video. But you know, I'm getting to the point now where I need to, you know, if I use an artist's reference, I need to go ahead and denote it in the description. So today, the only artist reference I used was the myriad of Marvel pictures that I found on the internet, just so I could understand what Deadpool looks like. You know, I just can't go into this blind. So, but anywho, that's where I'm at. Okay, so hang on this a little bit more. Okay, so and again, always going back, looking at my shapes of my forms, like this line right here that is on the left side of his body should come down and directly go right into that left leg. And like this line right here comes down and it points, it comes up and then down and right here to kind of balance his overall presence on the page. And then I have this right here, I want this to go down a little bit lower. And this line comes here, up. What I like to do is take this line and I go down directly. I don't give him a knee just yet, because I want that gesture to be pure. And I'm trying to get. It's better to make a mark than to not make a mark. You know what I'm saying? I want the right mark, but also it's good if I put a mark down so I get a reference point. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of artists, especially younger artists, are so afraid, with that fear. It's hard to describe what exactly that fear is. It's like a fear of making a mistake. I had a talk the other day about digital illustration and what exactly digital illustration is and how it is. I don't want to call it superior. But the reason why I think a lot of illustrators have gone digital is the fact that you can do so much with it. I mean, if I were to scan my original sketch that I did, and then just drag it into one of the manipulation programs like Photoshop or Manga Studio or one of those, and just draw over it, and that way it speeds up the process. Instead of having to go back, I have to redraw this, I have to re-establish my lines. And of course I could have used tracing paper, I could have used transparent paper if you have a light table, but in the digital world, I mean, it's just so much easier. So now I'm going back to my gesture. I've got my general gesture in, and I'm starting to work a little bit on a little bit more on my composition. Now, whenever it comes to balance and exactly what you want to do with your drawing, you have to consider, so many different elements. Ask yourself the question mentally: is this? Does it have a good gesture? Does it have a good pose? Is this pose working? What exactly am I trying to, accomplish? All these little details. And at the end of the day, what's going to end up happening as you continue to do this art stuff is that's just going to become a feeling, a feeling. Oh, this feels right. Oh, that didn't feel right, And then what happens? Well, at least to me, I don't like that at all. At least to me, it becomes, does it feel right? Does it read okay? I must have a bug in my face or something. What's up with that? Does it feel right? Does it not feel right? How is this gonna work at the end of the day? And that's whenever I do my preliminary sketch, which I'll show you guys at the end, and I'll show kind of a comparison of where I started and my final drawing. I wouldn't spend more than on your preliminary sketch, I wouldn't spend more than maybe 5-10 minutes on it, especially if you're going to go and do what I'm doing, which is kind of messy. Now, if you're going to go to complete final, obviously you need to spend more time on your rough sketch. But this is already can be considered a rough sketch. I just wanted to get a general idea. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I do apologize. Okay, another pack here. Yeah, Deadpool's pretty freaking awesome. You know, I haven't had the chance to go see the movie yet. That is on my list of things that I will be doing soon. Just because I think Deadpool's pretty stinking cool. You know, I don't want to go too muscular with him, even though Deadpool, the character is pretty stinking awesome and muscular. I wanted to keep it, more or less cartoony, because that's kind of what I do. So, anywho. So I'll bring this in a little bit. Gives it some more pow! Pow! You know what I'm saying? Boom! Shakalaka. Okay, so I can tell you right now I don't like that. Okay. So I think what's going to happen next, let me see where I'm at. 10, 20. The video for my face is limited to 24 minutes. So we're coming up on that. 10, no, we got 15. We got about 17 minutes we've been taping for. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. Not so bad. So I'm going to do a series of drawings, of how-to drawings. I'll see if what you guys think. If there's a particular character that you want to see, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to do that. If you guys see a particular character that you like, I'll do the character, I'll video it, I'll post it on YouTube, and then I will sell the original drawing, cheap. We're not talking thousands of dollars. We're talking 25, 30 bucks for the original drawing. And, just to get, even if I went on and posted it on, eBay as a bidding situation, obviously I want to get paid as much as I can for, what I do. But these, you guys, this is not my bread and butter. This is fun. So I want you guys to learn something. I want you guys to enjoy what I do. And, at the end of the day, if I make enough money to, cover lunch, then I'm more than happy to do that. And if that's something you want me to do, but I already know I'm gonna do a series of kind of classic cartoon characters. I've already decided I'm doing Dora the Explorer. I'm gonna do Spongebob because I like me some Spongebob. And a lot of people want to know how to draw these characters, and why not? I've done Spongebob for years, for product development, and he's pretty easy to do. And I think somebody out there is going to want to know how to draw him. In the same context, maybe some of you want to learn how to draw like Elsa and Anna and Mickey Mouse and Goofy and the Fab Five, and if I just do short warm-up videos, I'll throw those guys in there just for fun, and see what you guys think, and comment, of course. What characters do you want to do? I've done Bambi. I think I've done Elsa. I think I've done Anna, but I believe I've drawn Anna. So, anywho, Disney characters are fantastic for practice. I highly recommend you doing it. There's a huge archive of art online that you can reference. Even if you have to go so far as, if you really want to draw Disney characters. I heard an animator say this while I was at DDG, an ex-animator, and he said, what we used to do whenever we got a new somebody in, an in-betweener or somebody like that, or a trainee, is we would take the animator's drawings and we would let them trace over them, on light table, and get the feel of how the character is, the rhythm and flow, the proportions, because Disney characters are very specific whenever it comes to that. You don't want your Beast or your Belle looking, freakishly weird. It's got something. The term that is used it's called on model. So you have to think there's an established model, a model set for a particular genre or era, because Mickey Mouse has been around a long time. So you need to consider which Mickey Mouse. Let me check my time. 10:20. So we're about 7 minutes away from my face video running out. You need to consider that, what genre of time are you going to go after whenever it comes to that? Are you going to go after, vintage Mickey Mouse? Are you going to go after modern Mickey Mouse? There is a Mickey Mouse from the 50s. He was around then too. Which one are you going to go after? And once you've established that, excuse me, look up what that Mickey Mouse looks like. And my gosh, just go to town. Enjoy the process. Whenever I first started doing stuff for Disney, it was a little scary, because you're in there and you're trying to build relationships. You're trying to, and this is pretty true whenever it comes to any job, but you're trying to build relationships and gain the confidence of those that are hiring you to do stuff. And I'll be honest with you, at some point, there was some stuff that I almost was overwhelmed with, because of the amount of just, how do I put it? It's not fluff. It has to do with the legacy that Disney has left. Okay, there is a level to which the expectancy of an artist to be at whenever they're working at Disney. Of course, if you're training, it's a little bit different. But if you're coming on as a contractor, they want you to basically hit the floor running. They're not there to train you unless a specific something has changed, or they're trying to keep a certain keep the certain level. So there's training classes and stuff. But it's like in any company, you have to keep reaffirming and reestablishing those particular principles. And some of the principles that I had to learn were pretty significant and hard. Did I adapt to them? Absolutely. Did I relish in the situation that I was in? Oh man, you believe it. I loved every second of it. But I'd rather be challenged every day of my life than to sit back and take the easy road. And you say, well, Mike, why would you do that? Why, don't we want to take the easy road? There's that Annie song, Easy Street, and I don't know the rest of the words. I suck at words, but I think that in today's society, we've been taking the easy road too long. I don't want to take it easy. Whenever somebody asks me, hey, buddy, what's going on? What you been up to, man? Most people say, same, I've been taking it easy. I work my butt off all the time. I make sure that I get the job done. I make sure that, the people around me, if they're working under me, understand that there's an expectancy, and it is something that you have to, consider. If you're not working hard, you're not getting ahead. Obviously work smarter, not harder. How about work smarter and harder? What's wrong with that? Work smarter and harder. Make stuff work for you better. Analyze the situation. Do things better. Get things done. If something's taking too long, how can I make it more efficient? All these things. And here you go. So yeah, he's holding a rubber chicken. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that, right? So I got 10:22. So I got about 3.5 minutes left. So what I'm going to do for you guys today is I'm going to finish this bad boy on time lapse. Okay? And hopefully on the other side of the equation, I'm going to come back with a cool drawing. There's going to be a skull right here. Skull right here. I'm going to determine if I'm going to do something, in the background. I don't know. Who knows? So anyway, thanks for watching. Share and subscribe, please.